Hello viewers, in this video we will discuss paper 1 solutions from June 2023 question paper UGC Net Computer Science and Applications. Let's start with Unit 7 Data Interpretation. The following table shows the number of employees in an organization in 5 different cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Gurgaon, with total number of employees being 4,260 in the organization, along with the percentage distribution of employees working in 4 departments, namely HR, Finance, IT and Accounts. Based on the data in the table, answer the questions that follows. City-wise details of employees in an organization is given in the form of table. There is a small note given. Some values are missing in the table that you are expected to calculate if required. Each employee works in only one department. Now let's see the first question. What is the total number of employees in Mumbai and Gurgaon who work in IT department? So Mumbai's IT percentage is given and Gurgaon's IT percentage is missing. So let's calculate for Mumbai first. So the total number of employees in Mumbai into 30 percentage will give the IT department's count of employees. So the total count for Mumbai is given as 760 into 30 percentage. So 30 divided by 100. I am cancelling these two zeros. Mumbai will have 228 people working in the IT department. Now it's the turn of Gurgaon. Here the total count will be 700 into the percentage has to be found for IT now. Now they have given the percentage is the distribution of employees in all the 4 departments. So when I sum up HR, Finance, IT and Accounts, I will have the total count of employees. When you take in the form of percentage, percentage is expressed in 100. So when I say 20% in HR plus 22% in finance, let me take IT's percentage to be X and accounts percentage is 20% for Gurgaon. This will be equal to 100. So 20 plus 22 will give you 42. 42 plus 20 will give you 62. So X plus 62 is equal to 100. X is equal to 100 minus 62, which is equal to 38. 38 percentage of people are working in IT. Now this will be 700 into IT department is 38 percentage. Now I am cancelling both these zeros and we have a value of 266. Now the question is, from the IT department in these two cities, I have to calculate the total number of employees. So the employees count will be Mumbai employees from IT plus Gurgaon employees from IT. Mumbai has a count of 228 and Gurgaon has a count of 266. This will give 494. Option number 4 will be the right answer. Next question. If in Delhi, number of employees who work in accounts department are 40% more than the employees who work in HR department, then what is the number of employees who work in IT department? There are two hyphens mentioned here. It means they have given only the percentage distribution of finance department and accounts department. So with the given detail, we have to find the number of employees working in the IT department in Delhi city. So let's take the number of employees in Delhi. It is 900. Accounts has 40% more employees. We'll find the number of employees in finance. So in finance we have 18% employee working. So 900 into 18 divided by 100. This will give a value of 162. Next we have accounts department. Here it is 900 into 28 percentage. 28 divided by 100 will give 252. Let HR equal to some X. The number of employees who work in accounts department, this count 252 is 40% more than the employees count in HR department. Here 40% more can be described as 1 plus 40% of that 1. 1 plus 40 by 100. This will give 140 divided by 100. This ends up with 14 by 10. So x into 14 by 10 equal to accounts department employee count, which is equal to 252. So x is equal to 252 into 10 by 14. So x is equal to 180. The number of people in HR department will be 180. So how will we find IT department is IT is equal to the total count 900 minus, we'll sum up the other three departments, namely HR, then finance, then accounts. This will give 900 minus 594, which is equal to 306. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Next question. This question is declared with no key if number of employees in Bangalore is 10% less than the number of employees in Hyderabad. So there it was 1 plus 40% in the previous problem. But here it will be 1 minus 10%. 1 minus 10% will give 100 minus 10 divided by 100, which is equal to 90 divided by 100. Here the case is both Bangalore and Hyderabad don't have total number of employees. What is the difference between the number of employees who work in accounts department in these two cities? So the percentage of accounts is given in Bangalore as well as in Hyderabad. The only thing we need to find here is the total number of employees in both the cities. Total employees of all 5 cities is equal to 4260. Bangalore plus Hyderabad will have 4260 minus 900 from Delhi, 760 from Mumbai and 700 from Gurgaon. So this will give a count of 1900. Now we will take the 10% less than criteria here. So Bangalore has employees 10% less than Hyderabad. So this is 90% of Hyderabad. So 10% less than means if Hyderabad is 100%, then Bangalore will be 90%. We will substitute 90H by 100 in B. So 90H by 100 plus H is equal to 1900. 190H by 100 is equal to 1900, which says Hyderabad employees is equal to 1900 into 100 divided by 190. So let me cancel 190. Hyderabad has a count of 1000 employees from this formula. So B is equal to 90 into 1000 divided by 100. Let me cancel 2 zeros and B will have a value of 900. So the total number of employees working in Bangalore will be 900 and in Hyderabad it will be 1000. So accounts in Bangalore is 32%. 900 into 32 divided by 100. This will give a value of 288, and accounts in Hyderabad has a percentage of 35. So 1000 into 35 divided by 100. Cancelling 2 zeros, this will have 350. The question is, what is the difference between the number of employees who work in accounts in these two cities? So 350 minus 288 will give 62. 62 will be the answer, and since none of the options mark the answer, they have declared it with no key. Next question. If the number of employees in Bangalore is 10% less than the number of employees in Hyderabad. So we have already found this is 900 and this is 1000. The total number of employees who work in finance and accounts department of the organization is more than 415 in exactly how many cities? Let's find it out for finance and accounts together. So first for Delhi, 900 into the percentage of finance and accounts, 18 plus 28 will be taken, divided by 100. So this will be 46 into 9, 414. Then we have Mumbai, we need finance and accounts, but both are empty here. To find the sum of finance and accounts, what we can do is 100 minus 15 plus 30. This is HR and this is IT. 100 minus 45 will give 55. This 55 will be the percentage for both finance and accounts together. I need not find finance separately and accounts separately because they are asking those who work in both the departments. And we know one employee works only in one department. So this 55% is more than enough. So the total count is 760 into 55 divided by 100. This will give a value of 4180 divided by 10, 418. Then for Bangalore, 900 into 20 and 32. So 20 plus 32 here divided by 100. This will give 52 into 9, which is equal to 468. Then for Hyderabad, we have 1000 into 25% and 35%. So 25 plus 35 divided by 100. This will give 600. Then we have Gurgaon, 700 into, we have to add 22% from finance with 20 in accounts divided by 100. It is 42 into 7, which is equal to 294. Now we have to check how many cities have number of employees more than 415. 414 is less, 294 is less. So 1, 2 and 3. It is more than 4 and 5 in exactly 3 cities. Option number 2, 3 will be the right answer. Next question, if the number of employees who work in accounts department in Mumbai is 38 more than the number of employees who work in IT department in Gurgaon, then what is the number of employees who work in finance department in Mumbai? Already from question 1701 we have found Gurgaon's IT department employee count will be 266. They have not given the percentage of accounts department in Mumbai. So accounts in Mumbai is 38 more than the number of employees of Gurgaon's IT department. So 266 plus 38 because it is 38 more than. So this will give a value of 304. So Mumbai's accounts department has 304 employees. Now the question is, what is the number of employees who work in finance department in Mumbai? We have found the count of accounts to be 304. Now we will find for HR and IT. So Mumbai's HR plus IT together will be 760 into HR is 15, IT is 30 divided by 100. So 760 into 45 by 100. 3420 divided by 10. This will give a value of 342. So now we need finance department employee count. Finance department is equal to the total count of Mumbai employees 760 minus, we have two departments count together as 342 plus accounts department count as 304. 760 minus 646. This will give 114. So there are 114 employees in Mumbai's finance department. Option number 1 will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 1, Teaching Aptitude. Which of the following are the interrelated phases created by John Keller for stimulating and sustaining learners' motivation in the teaching and learning process? ARCS. This is an instructional model developed by John and this focuses on motivation. They have given 4 steps for promoting and sustaining motivation in learning process. So promoting and sustaining, stimulating and sustaining both mean the same. What are the 4 steps? The 4 steps are nothing but the expansion of ARCS. A stands for attention, R stands for relevance, C stands for confidence, S stands for satisfaction. What are the interrelated phases? So attention is there, relevance is there, confidence is there, satisfaction is there. A, C, D, E. Option number 1 will be the right answer. B option is not included. Next question. The process of comparing a student's performance against his or her previous performance is known as. They have given some assessment in the option. So let's see what are they. Diagnostic evaluation. This discloses the weakness and strengths. This will diagnose or discover students' difficulties while learning, and it will assess the problem accurately. So the difficulties are diagnosed here. It's not the performance with the previous performance. So diagnostic is out of the race. What is summative assessment? This evaluates the student learning at the end of an instructional unit by comparing it against some standard or benchmark. This is not by comparison to the previous performance but against some standard or some benchmark. So this is like taking a midterm exam. Summative is also not there. Ipsative assessment. It is the practice of assessing present performance against the prior performance of person being assessed. In this case, student's performance will be present performance against his or her previous performance will be the prior performance. So, ipsative assessment will be the right answer. The process of comparing a student's performance against his or her previous performance is known as ipsative assessment. So, the last one is informal assessment. Though we know it is not the answer, we just know what it is. Teachers do not evaluate student performances on grades or metrics. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. Online teaching tools are listed one side and the other side has the advantages listed for the teachers. What is a learning management system? It will provide the instructor with a way to create, deliver content, monitor student participation. It will assess the student performance. There will be a lot of features. Everything will be provided as a package. If we take LMS, what kind of advantage it is giving for the teachers? Streamlining course administration, managing student record and grades will be the apt advantage. So A is mapping to 3. The only option where A maps to 3 will be option number 4. The rest of the options are wrong. The next one, video conferencing, delivering engaging and interactive class sessions connecting with remote learners. So this will be video conferencing's advantage. Discussion forums, it is where collaboration takes place between students and between the teacher and the student. So encouraging student engagement and collaboration, fostering critical thinking and problem solving. So this will be mapping to discussion forums. C1. Creating and administering assessments quickly and easily, automating grading and feedback will be online assessment platform. D is mapping to 2. So option 4 will be the right answer. Next question. The teaching that provides all students with challenging instructions and uses supports when needed, but removes those supports as students become able to handle more on their own. This is called as. Let's start knowing about each of the method. Recessive teaching. Recessive teaching is where the trait fails to express itself because of another trait's dominance. It is not talking about any support. So let's take option 1 out. Active teaching. This method will engage in learning by thinking, discussing, investigating and creating. In class, students practice skills, solve problems, struggle with complex questions, make decisions, they propose some solutions and they explain ideas through writing or discussions. So all kinds of activity will take place in active teaching. This is also not talking anything about support system. So we'll rule out this. Adaptive teaching. This tailors the instruction to meet the unique needs of each learner. This offers supportive and engaging learning environment that empowers students to take control of their own learning. So this is the teaching that offers support. This empowers the students to take control of their own learning, discover their passions and achieve their full potential. Let's see what is problem oriented teaching. It is learning by working on problems. We can observe, understand, analyze, interpret and find solutions to a problem. In this case 4 will also be ruled out. Option number 3, adaptive teaching will be the right answer. In adaptive teaching, the students are given challenging instructions and also required support. But once they take control of their own learning, the supports are removed. Next question, given below are two statements. One is about metacognition and another is about mnemonics. Metacognition is the process of thinking about one's own thinking and learning. Here they have given it is the understanding about one's own use of language. This is false. But here you can see statement 2 is supporting that knowledge about our own thinking process. So metacognition is relating to the definition in statement 2. Then what about mnemonics? Mnemonics is the study and development of systems for improving or assisting memory. These techniques help you to store information in the brain in a more meaningful and in a visual way. So this will improve language skills too. How can we improve language skills? It's by remembering the rules of the language. Understanding about one's own use of language is relating to mnemonics here. It has nothing to do with thinking process. It's about improving memory because what we store inside our brain is memory. Thinking is we have to go beyond what is in the memory. Statement 2 is also false here. Option number 2, both statement 1 and statement 2 are incorrect will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 2, Research Aptitude. Given below are two statements. Statement 1, a cohort is a population whose members have some specific characteristic in common. Yes, it is right. A cohort is a group of persons who share a common characteristic. So statement 1 is true. Statement 2, in a prospective study, the researcher relies on people's memories and collections of the past. So first we have to understand what is a prospective study. Researchers will follow and observe a group of subjects over a period of time to gather information and record the development of outcomes. So in prospective study, the researcher will not rely on the people's memory and recollection of past. So this is false. But here you have one definition. The researcher relying on people's memory and recollection of the past. This is retrospective study. Prospective study has a different meaning. The researchers follow and they observe to gather information. Here, if they rely on people's memory and recollections of the past, it is retrospective study. That's why we are marking statement 2 to be false. Option number 3, statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false will be the right answer. Next question, when participants drop out of a study, leading to change in the nature of the sample, it would cause which of the following threats to internal validity? We have two kinds of validity, internal validity and external validity. What is internal validity? It's the degree of confidence that the group tested are not influenced by other factors or variables. There are 8 threats to internal validity: history, maturation, instrumentation, testing. Then we have selection bias, regression to the mean, social interaction and attrition. Here history, maturation, instrumentation and testing. In all these 4 threats, single group is involved. But in these 4 threats, multi groups are involved. So let me start with selection, attrition, history and testing, and then we will see about the rest. Selection threat or selection bias. It is the bias that may result in selection of comparison groups. If there is a bias that results in selection of comparison groups, then it is selection threat. So it is not talking about dropout. So it is not selection threat. Then attrition threat. When there is a dropout from participants, it is attrition threat. So here, when participants drop out of a study, leading to a change in the nature of the sample, this will cause attrition threat. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Next we have history threat. Unrelated event influences the outcomes. Unrelated events in the sense, if there are two measurements stating first and second measurement, if there are specific events that are occurring between first and second measurement, that may influence the outcomes. So in that angle they are saying. Next we have testing threat. This is the effect of taking a test on the outcomes of taking a second test. So in short we can say the pre-test influences the outcomes of post-test. Out of these four, the answer is attrition threat. Now we will see the rest of the four threats. Maturation. They are normal changes over time that affect the dependent variables. Over a period of time, some outcomes may change. It is not done intentionally, but it is due to time factor. So they are considered to be normal changes over time. Next we have instrumentation. These are the changes or differences in the process of measurement. We can say like there were different measures used in pre-test and post-test. So pre-test is having some other measurement and post-test is having some other measurement. Next we have regression to the mean. It's the statistical tendency to score extremely low or high to score closer to middle the next time on a test. So the next time they will be scoring in the middle part, but basically the score will be in any of the extreme. Then we have social interaction threat. Participants from different groups may compare notes and feel pressured to act or react in a certain way. So this is pure social pressure we can say. They will have a pressure to react in a certain way. They will not go by their own. It's because of the social interaction. This can also be a threat. So here internal validity is when they are influenced by some other factors. In every threat you will have some kind of influence here. So these are the 8 threats. You can have a note of it. If you want to know more, you can always explore on these topics. Next question. According to UGC regulations 2018 on plagiarism, common knowledge or coincidental terms up to how many consecutive words shall be excluded while checking similarity for detection of plagiarism? What is plagiarism? This is presenting some work or ideas from another source as if it is your own, with or without the consent of the original author. So even if you write research papers, they will be checking with some plagiarism softwares and say this much percentage of plagiarism is existing in your work. So there are guidelines from UGC regulations. It says it shall exclude a common knowledge or coincidental term up to 14 consecutive words. Option number 3 will be the right answer. If you take the report of UGC regulations 2018, you can find the exclusion list for plagiarism. All quoted work reproduced with all necessary permission or attribution. Next exclusion is all bibliography, references, table of contents, preface and acknowledgements. Then we have all generic terms, laws, standard symbols and standard equations can also be excluded. Then we have this line. It shall exclude a common knowledge or coincidental terms up to 14 consecutive words. Then E we have small similarity less than 10%. F mathematical formula. Then G name of institutions, departments, etc. They are talking about the plagiarism report. The report is generated by Turnitin or iThenticate or Urkun software at the time of PhD thesis submission. Next question. Given below are two statements. The first one, the risk of rejecting the null hypothesis when it should be confirmed is more at 0.05 p level than at 0.01 P level. Null means no value. Hypothesis means something a research is trying to prove. Null hypothesis is a researcher tries to disprove something. Null hypothesis states that no statistical significance exists in a set of given observation. If statistical analysis shows that the significance level is below cutoff, usually the cutoff is 0.05 or 0.01, null hypothesis is rejected and alternative hypothesis is accepted. A large p value in the sense that the one that is greater than 0.05 indicates weak evidence against the null hypothesis. Weak evidence in the sense you cannot reject null hypothesis. So null hypothesis cannot be rejected due to the weak evidence. Statement 1 says the risk of rejecting is more at this level than at this level. Risk of rejection means anytime it can be rejected. So the risk of rejecting null hypothesis when it should be confirmed is more at 0.05 level will be correct. So this is true. The second statement, the risk of committing a type 1 error is lower at 0.05 than at 0.01 level. So there are two kinds of errors. One is type 1 error and other is type 2 error. So type 1 error is actually false positive and type 2 is false negative. So what is type 1 error? This will reject the null hypothesis that is actually true. Then what is type 2 error? This is failing to reject null hypothesis that is actually false. For type 1, they have a value called alpha. The level is set to 0.05. It means it's acceptable to have 5% probability of incorrectly rejecting the true null hypothesis. Alpha is equal to 0.05 indicates you are willing to accept that you are wrong when you reject the null hypothesis. So to lower risk, you must use a lower value of alpha. It means when I keep it at 0.05 level, we have a high risk of committing the error. But here it says the risk is lower at 0.05 level, which is wrong. This statement is false. Risk is more at 0.05 and risk is less at. To lower risk, we have to lower the value, right? So it can be at 0.01. So this is telling the converse. Option 3, statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false will be the right answer. Next question. Given below are two statements. A dichotomous variable is the one which has more than two categories. A nominal variable can have more than two categories. So what are nominal variables? They are variables that can have two or more categories. No ordering will be there in these categories, but there can be more than two categories, which means statement 2 is true. Then what is a dichotomous variable? These variables can have only one of two values. Example, it can be 0 or 1, similar to that. So here this statement is false. Option number 4, statement 1 is false but statement 2 is true will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 4, Communication. According to Abhinav Gupta, the Rasa theory of communication provided an opportunity for audience what aspect? So the theory of Rasa is given by Bharata and it was developed by Abhinav Gupta. In fact, Abhinav Gupta applied it to all varieties of theatre and poetry. He was the one who introduced the ninth rasa called Santam. Santam denotes peace. He says that this experience of tranquility or peace is equivalent with moksha. So he compares the ninth rasa's experience to that of spiritual liberation, which is the goal of human life. That's what we termed as moksha. This rasa can be captured via literature and poetry. The question is, the Rasa theory of communication provided an opportunity for audience, literary taste, materialistic welfare, socialization, moral cultivation. Since the Rasa is talking about spiritual liberation, we will mark option number 4, moral cultivation, to be the right answer. Next question, when people meta communicate, they are sending messages about senders, receivers, channels, or messages. So computer science people can understand metadata. It is data about data. So what is meta communication? It is secondary communication about how a piece of information is meant to be interpreted. It means we are sending messages about messages. Option number 4 will be the right answer. So the idea is same message will be accompanied by different meta communication and they can mean something different too. Next question, media interactivity is experienced at different levels in different dash relations. Media interactivity refers to ways in which people process and share information. Any computer delivered electronic system that allows users to control, combine, manipulate different types of media is media interactivity. It is also the ability to communicate with one another over the internet. From this, we can understand that two aspects are involved here. One is the use of technology, and the other one is the people involving in this process. If there is some technology, people have to use it. So here the ability to communicate with one another, we need people. So media interactivity is experienced at different levels in different. Political doesn't support this idea, economic doesn't support this idea, techno social. So techno is technology here and social is the society or the people here. So in this aspect we can say option number 3 will be the right answer, techno-social relations. Techno-ethical, so technology is here but we are not talking about ethics, we are talking about people. Next question, given below are two statements. There is an argument that the emergence of cable and television audiences has brought in more personalized and interactive media culture. Yes, this is actually true because TV serves as the primary source of information, entertainment as well as education. TV is an instrument for transmitting cultural values and shaping public opinion. What you show in the news, what you show in the form of some dramas or movies or even some reality shows, everything will be reflecting the cultural values as well as shaping the public's opinion. Second statement, within an integrated communication system, messages do not acquire communicability and socialization. What is communicability? This is the ability to pass information from one person to another person. And what is socialization? It states that all are equal. It means communication has to reach everybody. So here when they say it is an integrated communication system, there will be information passing from one people to another and all people will be given the information. In this case, if they say messages do not acquire both these aspects, communicability and socialization, this is false. Option number 3. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false will be the right answer. Next question. Given below are two statements. First one. The electronic space of internet has failed to displace the institutional space in a society even an iota. Iota means an extremely small amount. Displace means to remove or to take someone's place. So do you think internet has failed to take somebody's place? Not so. The electronic space of internet has displaced the institutional space in a society. So in this case, we say statement 1 is false. The next statement, the internet communication has broken down the hierarchies of race, ethnicity and gender. Ethnicity means it's a quality that is belonging to a group who share a common cultural background. They say that the internet communication has broken down this race, this gender inequality, this ethnicity and everything. This is absolutely true. So statement 2 is true. Option number 4. Statement 1 is false but statement 2 is true will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 5, Mathematical Reasoning and Aptitude. Determine the next term in the following number series. We have 3, we have 15, we have 35, we have 63. 3 into 5 will give 15. 5 into 7 will give 35. 7 into 9 will give 63. So I have 3, 5, 7 in this order. So the next odd number will be 9 here, and here it is 5, 7 and 9. So the next one in the order will be 11. The next number will be 9 into 11, 99. Option number 3, 99 will be the right answer. Next question. In a certain coding scheme, women is coded as 65. How will the children be coded in this scheme? So we have to find what coding scheme it is. The scheme is nothing but reverse alphabet ordering. Let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So let's check for women. WOMEN. So W is 4, O is 12, M is 14, E is 22 and N is 13. This is 30, this is 35. We get a sum of 65. Now we have to do the same thing for children. C is 24, H is 19, I is 18, L is 15, D is 23, R is 9, E is 22 and N is 13. 24 plus 19 is 43. This is 33. This is 32 and this is 35. Here we have 76. Here we have 67. So altogether we have 143. Option number 2, 143 will be the right answer. Whenever you find the coding scheme correctly, first check with the already coded word and then apply it to the word that has been asked in the question. Next question, if x is equal to 0.25 and y is equal to 0.16, the value of the expression is y by x plus root of x into root of y minus xy is equal to y is 0.16, x is 0.25 plus root of 0.25 into root of 0.16 minus 0.25 into 0.16. Instead of 0.16 divided by 0.25, I can just take the decimal away and write it as 16 by 25 plus 0.25. 25 is 5 square. So I can write this as 0.5 square into 16 is 4 square is equal to 16. So 0.4 square minus 0.25 into 0.16 will give 0.0400. 16 divided by 25 will give 0.604 plus when there is a square root and a square we can just cancel them. This is 0.5 into 0.4 minus 0.04. So here it is 0.604 plus 0.2 minus 0.04. First let's add. This will be 0.804 minus 0.04. Finally, we'll get the value of 0.8. Option number 2, 0.8 will be the right answer. If A, B and C can complete a piece of work in 3, 5 and 6 days respectively, A takes 3 days, B takes 5 days and C takes 6 days. They together will complete the work in. This is one work for number of days. To find work per day, then A is equal to 1 by 3, B is equal to 1 by 5 and C is equal to 1 by 6. Working together, we can have A plus B plus C, which is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 6. If you take the LCM of 3, 5 and 6, you will have 30. So this is 3 into 10, 30, 5 into 6 and 6 into 5. You will have 21 by 30. This is 7 into 3 and 10 into 3. So 7 by 10. When I say work per day for A is 1 by 3 and it takes 3 days to complete one work. This will be A is equal to 1. So whatever I have here as fraction, I am just reversing for the time. This is the work and this is the time. Working together, the work has 7 by 10. So the time will be 10 by 7. How can I write 10 by 7 in terms of fractions is 1 into 3 by 7 days. This will be the time. So 1 into 7 plus 3. 1 into 3 by 7 days. Option number 1 will be the right answer. I hope you understood why we are reversing it for time. See, the work is for 7 by 10. Only when I multiply it with time 10 by 7, I can get 1 as we did here. Next question. A passenger train running at the speed of 75 km per hour leaves the station 9 hours after a goods train leaves and overtakes it in 6 hours. The speed of the goods train is. See, let's take a small depiction here. This is the goods train. Let's take for an example, it starts at 12 am. After 9 hours, a passenger train is leaving the railway station. So around 9 o'clock, the passenger train is also leaving the station. It overtakes it in 6 hours. In 6 hours, we have 3 pm. In railway timing, it is 15. In 6 hours, both the goods train and the passenger train are meeting and the passenger train overtakes. Here the speed of the passenger train is given. They are asking for the speed of the goods train. Distance of the passenger train after 6 hours. We have the details only for passenger train. After 6 hours, what is the distance of the passenger train? For 1 hour, it is running at the speed of 75 km. So 75 km per hour. For 6 hours, it is 75 into 6, which is equal to 450 km. This many distance it has travelled. At 450 km, the goods train and the passenger train are meeting. With this detail, we have to find the speed of the goods train. Let's take the goods train time to be 15. It is travelling 9 hours and here it is travelling 6 hours. All together, it is 15 hours of travel for the goods train when it reaches 450 km. It takes 15 hours to reach 450 km. So the distance here is 450 km. Now we have to find the speed. Speed is equal to distance divided by time. A simple formula. Distance is equal to 450 divided by the time is 15 hours. We will get 30. So distance is measured in kilometer and time is measured in hour. So 30 km per hour. The speed of the goods train will be 30 km per hour. Option number 3. 30 km per hour will be the right answer. 75 is kilometer per hour into 6 hour. Hour and hour will get cancelled and only kilometer will be retained. Always try to work with the metrics or the units. Only then you will have the correct metric or unit when you mark the answer. Let's move on to unit 6, logical reasoning. Arrange the following group of terms in order of increasing intention. So what does it mean by increasing intention? Each term except the first term implies in addition more attributes than the preceding one. That is, they will be more specific than the preceding one. This applies to every term except the first term. So that is increasing intention. There is also a word called extension. Extension means it will talk about collection. That is, when they ask with respect to increasing extension, it means you have to move towards a generic group. When they are asking about increasing intention, it is about moving more specific, and extension is about moving more generic. So increasing intention in the sense, specificity will be made in the last term. The first term will be the more generic term. The last term will be the more specific term. Out of tiger, mammal, feline and animal will stand first. From animals we have mammals. From mammals we have something called felines. Felines belong to Felidae. Felidae is nothing but a family of predatory mammals. Predatory in the sense they kill and eat. From felines we get tiger. So animal is in D, mammal is in B, feline is in C and tiger is in A. D, B, C, A. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Here we are more general, stating it's an animal. Here we are more specific. Increasing intention means we will be moving towards specific, from generic to specific. If the question is about increasing extension, then we will move from specific to generic. Generally it is actually ascending order, but here we shouldn't mention here because it is moving from general to specific. Given below are two statements. A valid deductive argument that also has all true premises is called a sound argument. First we must understand what is a sound argument. A sound argument is a valid argument with true premises. This means if the premises are true, conclusion must also be true. So what are deductive arguments? An argument is valid when both the premises are true, the conclusion derived from the premises cannot be false. This is deductive argument. So a valid deductive argument with true premises is said to be sound. This statement is true. A deductive argument that is invalid and it has one or more premises or both of the premises to be false, then we call it as unsound argument. There are three conditions here: about validity, then about sound argument, then about deductive argument. So a deductive argument can be valid only if the conclusion necessarily follows from the premises given. The next statement, a strong inductive argument that has all true premises is called a cogent argument. A strong inductive argument is said to be one whose premises render the conclusion likely. A cogent argument is a strong argument with true premises. From this we can say statement 2 is also true. In the light of the above statements, choose the most appropriate answer. Option number 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Next question. Which informal fallacy is committed in the following statement? American Indians are disappearing. That man is an American Indian. Therefore, that man is disappearing. If you take fallacies, they are classified into formal fallacy and informal fallacy. This question is related to informal fallacy. So let's start with fallacy of division. This says when one reasons that something that is true for a whole must also be true for all or some of its parts. Here American Indians are disappearing. So here it is true for a whole. That man is an American Indian, the part of the whole. Therefore, that man is disappearing will also be true. So this fallacy is fallacy of division. Option number 4 will be the right answer. Now we will see about begging the question. So when an argument's premises assume the truth of the conclusion instead of supporting it. We have already seen about begging the question in one of the previous year question paper. This is also called arguing in a circle. We assume the proof without actually proving it, and that significant part of the stand will be in the question. So that is begging the question. Next we will see about hasty generalization. When we make generalization on the basis of insufficient evidence, we call the fallacy as hasty generalization. What is red herring? It is diverting attention from the real issue by focusing instead on an issue having only a surface relevance to the first. We are diverting from the real issue by focusing on issue that is having only little relevance to the first one. We'll move on to the next question. Identify the formal fallacy committed in the following argument. Some good actors are not powerful athletes. All professional wrestlers are powerful athletes. Therefore, all professional wrestlers are good actors. We have already seen about affirming the consequent earlier in some question paper. The antecedent is claimed to be true because the consequent is true. I can give you an example. If A, then B. If we say so, we can say B, therefore A. I can say if A occurs, then B will also occur. In other way, if B is occurring, it means A has occurred. It is claiming to be true just because the consequent is true. This is affirming the consequent. We are not claiming anything true here. So this option can be ruled out. Next, we will go for exclusive premises. A categorical syllogism, it says. So what is a syllogism? We'll just have a reminder, though we have already seen about it. It's a kind of logical argument that applies deductive reasoning to arrive at a conclusion based on two propositions that are asserted or assumed to be true. So exclusive premises, it's a categorical syllogism that is invalid because both of its premises are negative. We have only one negated premise here, and here it talks about both the premises, so we can rule out exclusive premises also. Next we'll see about existential fallacy, an argument that has a universal premise and a particular conclusion. You can compare it to the logic content. There exists. It means there is at least one. So in that case, there exists will be a particular conclusion where it will have universal premise. And here it is not about universal premise because here all professional wrestlers are powerful athletes. But here the talk is about some good actors are not powerful athletes. So existential fallacy will also not be the answer. Ruling out all those three, we can conclude that option number 3, affirmative conclusion from negative premises, will be the right answer. But what kind of fallacy it is? From the question we can understand that it is a kind of formal fallacy. Let's learn about affirmative conclusion from negative premises. So just interpret from the title, negative premises. So one of the premises negative here. Affirmative conclusion in the sense the therefore statement is having a positive conclusion. So just interpreting the meaning of the words, I am just telling you. It's again a categorical syllogism that has a positive conclusion but at least one negative premise. Here they say it has at least one. It means either one or more than one. So here at least one premise is in negative form, and then it provides a positive conclusion stating that all wrestlers are good actors. Though it is not going to be true, we are just identifying only the fallacy committed here. So fallacy is something wrong by logic. I will just give you some more details on syllogism. We have a term called syllogistic fallacies. They are logical fallacies that occur in syllogism. The first one will be formal syllogistic fallacy. The next one will be quantification fallacy. Then the third one will be propositional fallacies. From the term quantification fallacy, we can say existential fallacy will come under quantification fallacy. So I'll mark number 2 here. It means existential fallacy is a kind of quantification fallacy. Then we have propositional fallacy. So which one will be propositional fallacy is affirming the consequent will be propositional fallacy. So I am marking number 4. The first one, exclusive premises, and the third one, affirmative conclusion from negative premises. Both are formal syllogism fallacies. These are the option numbers. So if I say 1, it is exclusive premises. If I say 3, it is affirmative conclusion from negative premises. If I say 2, it is existential fallacy. If I say 4, it is affirming the consequent. Next question, which of the following arguments commits the fallacy of contradicted middle, such that the middle term, instead of being pervaded by the presence of major term, it is pervaded by the absence of the major term. When the middle term is not related to the major term but to its contradictory. This is what they say about fallacy of contradicted middle. Let's say air is heavy because it is empty. Here the middle term empty actually disapproves the heaviness of air. We say something is heavy but still we say it is empty. All things are non-eternal because they are knowable. Non-eternal in the sense it can be mortal or finite, like that. Knowable is able to be observed, able to be understood, like that. Here the middle term is non-exclusive. I am just giving you in the terms of logic reasoning. So the fallacy committed here will be Anupasamhari Savya Bichara. If you cannot follow the spelling, you can just give the statement and search for the fallacy committed. It will automatically give you the correct spelling. Eternal means it is always existing. That is, it doesn't have a beginning or it doesn't have an ending. So non-eternal is related to knowable. It could be understood. It could be finite. It could be random. So something that doesn't have beginning or ending cannot be understood. But something that has a finite count can be understood. In that way, it is relatable. That's why we are not marking this to be fallacy of contradicted middle. The second argument, sound is a quality because it is visible. The fallacy committed here is Swarupasiddha fallacy. When the minor term is not unreal, but because of the very nature of the middle term cannot be present in the minor term. Visibility cannot be associated with audible sound. There is no relation there. But in contradicted middle, the term will not be related to the major term. Here it is conflicting with the minor term. That's why we are not putting it under fallacy of contradicted middle. Next, third statement. Fire is cold because it is a substance. The third one is Badita fallacy. The English term will be non-inferential contradicted middle. So here the middle term appears to be a reason but not valid. The middle term is contradicted by a strong perception. Now the fourth argument. Sound is eternal because it is produced. This offers existence to non-existence. The middle term disproves original proposition and proves its contradictory. This argument commits the fallacy of contradicted middle. Option number 4 will be the right answer. Except the fourth option, I have given the kind of fallacy committed in the other three options. From that itself, we can understand the first three options are not in the answer set. So apart from these arguments, there are also arguments like sound is eternal because it is audible, sound is non-eternal because it is produced, sound is eternal because it is caused. You can go through all those arguments and you can understand the fallacy committed in it, so that it might be helpful for you in some other question paper. Let's move on to Unit 8, Information and Communication Technology. When you sign up something like a free email account, you may be presented with a CAPTCHA. The most common form of CAPTCHA is an image of several distorted letters. CAPTCHA stands for. CAPTCHA is a type of security measure known as challenge response authentication. Why do we use CAPTCHA? It is to differentiate between a robot and a human. If you see, I am not a robot, I am a human checkbox also, everything is CAPTCHA. We have to say in general, It is to differentiate human and computers. Let's check for computers and human apart. So except the third one, everything has the word. So we'll remove option 3. This CAPTCHA process is done automatically. Check where we have automatic. So this is analysis, this will not be there. Then this is additional, this will also not be there. This option has automated. Option number 2 will be the right answer. CAPTCHA stands for completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. Next question. You and your friends decided to go to Goa after you finish your finals. However, your demanding parents set a couple of conditions to join your friends. They have given a MS Excel spreadsheet below. The categories of condition will be hours spent on homework weekly, midterm score and final exam score. The minimum results needed are listed in B column and the actual results are in column C. Whether you will be allowed to go or not will be decided in column D. Imagine your parents would care about exams. That is, only the midterm score and final exam score conditions are relevant. Choose one option or formula that you can use for cell D2. So this is cell D2 to answer the question. Will you be able to join your friends with the results given? Minimum marks to score is in B3 and B4. My result is in C3 and C4. I should check whether I have scored greater than or equal to the minimum marks. If I say the average mark is 35, I want to know whether I passed or failed. I will check whether my mark is greater than or equal to 35. So this 35, this minimum limit is what we see in B3 for midterm score and B4 for final exam score. So the conditions will be C3 greater than or equal to B3. This is for the midterm score, and C4 greater than or equal to B4. This is for the final exam score. Just check whether these two expressions are existing in any of the options. You have to check separately. C3 has to be checked with B3 and C4 has to be checked with B4. In that case, third one is wrong. And in the first option, this is actually greater than or equal to, but here it is just greater than, so we'll remove this. They are saying that both the scores will be deciding. So these two conditions have to be integrated using AND. So C3 greater than or equal to B3, comma C4 greater than or equal to B4. This will be integrated using AND. It means I have to score in both the exams. So where we find AND here, in option 2 we have AND of, and here it is OR. OR means I can either score in midterm or in final exam. But here they are concerned about midterm and final exam. So this OR contradicts that statement and we'll remove option 4. Now we know option 2 will be the answer, but we'll just check. If you have scored more than the minimum results, you will be able to join your friends. If you are able to join, it means yes. If you are not joining your friends, it means no. So here you have two options. One is yes and the other one is no. This will be given inside a if condition. So the format will be equal to if. If this condition is true, it prints yes, else it will print no. Just check 68 greater than or equal to 70 is false. 77 is greater than or equal to 75 is true. False and true will give you false only. So since it is false, the answer will be no here. Option 2 will be the right answer. I'll just give you the format of if condition here. If the condition will be placed here, the true part will be placed here and false part will be placed here. So this is the condition, this is true and this is false. All these three will be separated by commas. Next question. Given below are two statements. A binary number that ends in a 1. Example is always an odd decimal number. 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3. This is what we use to convert from decimal to binary. or binary to decimal. This is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is 8. If I place 1 here, this will be decimal equivalent of 1. If I place 1 everywhere and a 0 here, this will be 12 plus 2, 14. This is an even number. So to make any number odd, I have to have 1 in the 2 power 0th bit. It means a binary number that ends in a 1 is what exactly they say. So when I have a binary number ending in 1, it means it is always an odd decimal number. This is perfectly true. Next statement. HTML is a set of rules that must be obeyed when transferring files across the internet. This definition is correct for HTTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol is a set of rules that must be obeyed when transferring files. The files can be text files, image files, sound files or video files across the internet. Then what is HTML? HTML is a markup language. It is hypertext markup language for creating web pages. They have given the definition of HTTP using the term HTML. We can conclude that statement 2 is false. Option number 3, statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false will be the right answer. Next question. Identify the correct order of the terms A to E to complete the paragraph about MAC addresses and IP addresses given below. What is MAC address? It is Media Access Control Address. What is IP address? It is Internet Protocol. A MAC address is a Media Access Control Address. A network device has a dash MAC address that can help dash the device. A network device will have unique MAC address. Here we will place unique. Why do we give a unique MAC address to a device? That will help identify the device in the network. So based on the unique MAC address only, I can identify which device it is. Here control unique identify. So control is B, unique is E, identify is D. B, E, D. This sequence, option number 4 will be the right answer. Now, an IP address is an internet protocol address. Protocol is in A. An IP address can be static or obviously dynamic. So, this is C. A, C. If you know what is MAC, Media Access Control, anything that starts instead of B are wrong. And if you have found this MAC order or if you have found Internet Protocol and dynamic, this AC order, this one is also false. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. The first list is about security or data loss issues and the second list will be the methods of data recovery or protection. First one, data loss caused by hard disk crash. See, when there is a crash, what they will say is they will always advise us to have a backup of the files. So A will be mapping to 3. A3 in 2 options. So let me remove 2 and 4. The next one, introduction of software that self-replicates and can cause data loss. Self-replicate means reproduce itself. There is a term in computer science that has the ability to reproduce itself or to self-replicate, that will be virus. If virus is the security issue, then the method of protection will be to use antivirus software. So B is mapping to 2. So this is caused by a virus and so we are using antivirus software. A3 and B2. This option is also ruled out. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Next issue, reading of illegally accessed documents. If I want to protect my documents, I can keep it in another form. This another form can be an encrypted form. C is mapping to 4. Why do we encrypt something is to protect data from being stolen, changed or compromised. That is why we encrypt things. The last one, software that records all key presses on your computer without you knowing. Obviously, D will be mapping to 1. So, some software is recording all your key presses without your knowledge. It means somebody is spying at you. We can term it as spyware because they have mentioned it to be a software. When there is a spyware, automatically the method of protection will be anti-spyware software. So, what is a spyware in general is this will obtain information about another's computer activities without their consent. That's why they use anti-spyware software. Option 3 will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 9, People, Development and Environment. Given below are two statements. Due to climate change, Arctic sea ice is significantly thinner now than about a century ago. Arctic sea ice reaches its minimum extent every September. This September Arctic sea ice is now shrinking at a rate of 12.6% per decade. Decade is 10 years and century is 100 years. The 2012 sea ice extent is the lowest in the satellite record. If you search about it, you can see the graph. In 2012, it will be totally the lowest one compared to the other years. This statement is absolutely true. Due to climate change, tropical regions have warmed much faster than rest of the world. So what are tropical regions? They are the places near the equator, that is in the middle of the globe. The climate is warm to hot and it is moist all year around. Throughout the year, the temperature remains relatively constant, that is in warm to hot stage, and the sunlight is intense only. Though it is hot, it has humidity too. That's why we use the term moist here. Tropical regions have warmed much faster. This is not right. These regions are not warming at a faster rate. Then what is warming at a faster rate? Arctic is warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the world. This statement is applicable to Arctic. So statement 2 is false. Option number 3. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect will be the right answer. Next question. What is the correct increasing order? It means the ascending order of the contribution to the global warming by the following gases. What is global warming? It's a long-term warming of the planet's overall temperature. I'll give you a contribution order. This order is not of increasing order, but whichever gas contributes the most will be in the first place. The first gas that is contributing a lot to global warming will be carbon dioxide. There are many articles with differing percentages, so we'll take only the names. Next to carbon dioxide, it is methane. Next to methane, it is nitrous oxide. And after nitrous oxide, we have fluorinated gases from max to minimum. This order. Now they are asking in ascending order. Fluorinated gases are not a part of the option. So let's take this. Remaining 3, N2O stands first. C stands first. All the options except option number 2 are wrong. Option number 2 will be the right answer. C is first. Methane A is second. CO2B will be third. So this is the increasing order. CAB. Next question. Given below are two statements. Cultural eutrophication is caused by increased nutrient input into water body mainly due to human activities. What is actually cultural eutrophication? It is a process that occurs when human water pollution speeds up. How does it speed up? It speeds up by introducing sewage, detergents, fertilizers and other source of nutrients in an aquatic ecosystem. So first one, it is caused by increased nutrient input into water body due to human activities is true. The second one, cultural eutrophication deaccelerate the aging of a water body enormously over natural rates. Deaccelerate means reduce the speed. Does it reduce the speed of aging? The human water pollution speeds up. And here this word is contradicting. So this is false. This cultural eutrophication speeds up the aging process by the introduction of sewage, detergents, fertilizers, nutrients, etc. It has dramatic consequences on freshwater resources, fisheries, and recreational bodies of water. Option number 3. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect will be the right answer. A photovoltaic array is what? So photovoltaic array is a complete power generating unit that consists of any number of PV modules and panels. So PV is photovoltaic. When we say array, it means multiple panels are connected. So when the term array is used, you can easily rule out the first 3 options. And we can mark option number 4, combination of solar panels. Option 4 will be the right answer. Next question. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, was the outcome of what? This was adopted in 1992 with the ultimate aim of preventing dangerous human interference with climate system. This was the key achievement of Rio Earth Summit that was held in 1992 obviously, or it can be called as Earth Summit 2. The 1997 Kyoto Protocol and 2015 Paris Agreement build on the convention. UNFCCC was the outcome of Earth Summit. So we will mark option 4, Earth Summit, as the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 10, Higher Education System. The Union government's mandate for Humayun Kabir Committee was to explore the possibility of. Humayun Kabir Committee said there should be provision for the spread of higher education even among those who do not have the chance to go for regular instruction in universities. It was passed as an amendment in Delhi University Bill 1961. But the Union government's mandate for this committee was to explore the possibility of setting up new university. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Though it wanted to provide higher education to those who cannot attend regular classes, you might think it will be option 3, to establish correspondence courses, but that is not the thing. They wanted to set up a new university and provide everyone the opportunity for higher education. Next question. The Education Dispatch of 1854 suggested that the medium of instruction in Indian universities should be English. Option number 4, English, will be the right answer. This is actually known as the Magna Carta of English education in India. This paved way to use vernacular language in primary education. Vernacular language means the language that is spoken in that area, and use English language in higher education in India. So here they have given the medium of instruction in universities, which says that we are talking about higher education. So English will be the right answer. Next question. As per the recommendation of the National Education Policy 2020, the Indian standards of skills will align with the International Standard Classification of Occupations of. This statement will end like occupations maintained by International Labour Organization, ILO. Option number 3 will be the right answer. So the Indian standard says the national skills qualification framework will be detailed for each discipline, vocation and profession. Now we'll just see the full form of UNDP. UNDP is United Nations Development Program. UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. ITU is International Telecommunication Union. The next question. Find out the chronological order of the following open universities in India. Chronology means by the order it was established. Karnataka State Open University was established in Mysore in the year 1996. Netaji Subhash Open University was established in Kolkata in the year 1997. UP Rajarshi Tandon Open University was established in Allahabad in the year 1998. Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University was established in 1991. And Nalanda Open University was established in Bihar in 1987. So the chronology order will be 1987. So Nalanda E. Then 1991 it is Madhya Pradesh D. Then it is 96, 97 and 98, which is A, B and C. Karnataka, Netaji and UP Rajarshi. So E, D, A, B, C. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Next question. Given below are two statements. Reputed scholars like Panini and Chanakya had their education from Nalanda University. Chanakya was a student at Taxila University, so previously called as Takshashila University. Chanakya was the student as well as the teacher of Taxila University. Panini dated back to 6 to 4 BCE and Chanakya dated back to 375 BCE. Why I am mentioning this year is Nalanda University was established only in the year 1987. When something which has been established in 1987, how can it have students from the previous century? So this statement is false. Second statement, Takshashila was a university known for its education in Indian arts and science, especially medicine. This is true. Takshashila was providing education in arts, science, law and medicine. It's the ancient Buddhist center of learning. Option number 4. Statement 1 is false, but statement 2 is true will be the right answer. Let's move on to Unit 3, Comprehension. Read the passage and answer the question that follows. The Transport Department is planning to start a road safety campaign that will involve local resident welfare associations, market stakeholders, school children and society representatives. As a part of the campaign, the district magistrates will form plans to address the increasing number of accidents in consensus with the locals. In consensus means agreement among a group of people. So, agreeing along with the locals. The decision was taken after it was found during a government study that road sections passing through pedestrian heavy areas. A person who walks will be called as pedestrian. Having schools, metro stations and commercial sites were more prone to accidents. A senior official said that funds worth crores which were meant for ensuring road safety were not being utilized. The focus of the campaign will be to identify and rectify black spots. Rectify in the sense correct something that is wrong. Black spots we can say where the accidents often take place. Those areas will be black spots. And rectifying black spots means we have to correct those areas. Revisit speed limits. Revisit means we have to consider it from different perspective. So revisit can be a kind of reconsideration, a kind of review, re-evaluate or reanalyze. There are multiple words to express the meaning of revisit. Form road safety clubs, install A1 cameras at strategic locations, encourage helmet use, check speed in high risk locations and regulate overloaded commercial vehicles, the official explained. The number of deaths due to road accidents in Delhi totaled 1,239 in 2021 and an increase from 1,196 fatalities in the previous year. Fatalities means the death caused by accidents. According to Delhi Crash Report 2021, which was prepared by the city's traffic police, pedestrian deaths comprised more than 40% of the total fatalities. Now let's answer the question. The government study found that areas that were more accident prone were. So this paragraph has talked about the areas. So it is pedestrian heavy areas having schools, metro stations and commercial sites. So main roads, peripheral roads, highways are not there. Pedestrian heavy areas. Option number 4 will be the right answer. Next question, fill in the blank with the appropriate option. The number of deaths due to road accidents. What happened from 2020 to 2021? They said in 2021, the number of deaths were 1239. This had an increase from 1196 in the previous year. So it had an increased. So we can say the number of deaths due to road accidents increased from 2020 to 2021. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Declined and decreased mean the same. Remain the same will not be there. So we'll rule out the rest of the 3. Next question. Revisit speed limits means. Speed limits will be revised. The limit will alone be revised. Speed limit will be reassessed. Reassessed means it will be reevaluated. So revisit, I gave you few terms. In that we can include reassessed. Revisiting doesn't mean reducing or increasing. It is to reanalyze or reevaluate once again. So option number 2 will be the right answer. We'll rule out even 1. Next question. Black spots are areas that have been blackened, it's wrong. That have no light, it's wrong. That are busy is also wrong. Here they are going to identify and rectify black spots. I told these are the places where more accidents take place. So where a lot of accidents happen. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Next question. Given below are 2 statements. The focus of the passage is on making Delhi roads safer. Yes, they are taking some measures by identifying and rectifying black spots, by revisiting speed limits, forming road safety clubs, etc. This is true. The second statement, funds worth crores. This statement meant for ensuring road safety have been properly utilized. They said they were not being properly utilized. So this statement is false. Option number 3. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect will be the right answer. With this we are completing paper 1 solutions.